Hello and welcome back to the HUD Gaming. We're here with Heads Up episode number 17. I'm Mark Acevedo.
I'm Joel Torres, a.k.a. Joey with the Biz.
I'm Justin Torres, a.k.a. Dusty Justin.
Were you expecting us to say that with you?
No, I expect to say it by myself.
You had like the sound of excitement, but it's okay. We won't let you down.
I'm excited.
We know
it sounds like you didn't finish strong enough, you know?
We appreciate you.
It dribbled out.
Every episode, we always say something about your introduction, but I'm proud of you.
I thought that you guys...
Because you just need to say it with, like, confidence. Say it with your chest.
I did say it with...
Say it with the confidence like the new glasses Joel is wearing right now.
Yeah, you'll see it on Instagram.
Those are
You're going to see it on Instagram?
Yeah, I'll put it there.
Wow, you really are trying to get your followers up. Post me on your Instagram. Use me as a little Instagram thought.
You came prepared.
I did came prepared because actually I did wear these because I didn't know we were recording, like the video aspect of it because you guys wanted to do that.
I mean, I clearly don't look like I was ready for the video recording. Anyway.
You never look ready for video.
It is Thursday.
What?
August 1st, 2019. And we've got a ton of stuff to talk about.
July's over. The summer's over, kids.
Summer's over.
Summer's over. Your dreams are crushed. You didn't get to talk to that hot girl over summer that you wanted to at summer camp.
Got to go back to school.
Got to go back to school and just sit there awkwardly at this fucking lunch table.
You can try at school, but your friends will make fun of when you don't have anything to say to her and you just come back to the group.
Oh, yeah.
Or you might not even get to that stuff. You might be under too much pressure or you might not even ask her.
Or you might fall in love with her and then your friends will resent you for that, for not hanging out with them. So it's really just a lose-lose situation. So just play video games and listen to us.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not
You've come to the right place for that.
You came home.
So, if you're listening to this on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe to the video if you're new here or if you enjoy the content. And if you click that little notification bell, you'll get notified whenever an episode comes out. These episodes usually premiere on Fridays, but we'll start off with what actually happened today. So this is like fresh hot off the press. The Call of Duty Modern Warfare reveal was today, and they announced a load of details about the multiplayer, and there's a reveal trailer that we'll link down below. And a bunch of people on YouTube were able to go there and actually get gameplay footage, so I've watched a ton, and I will just kind of summarize some of the key points about this multiplayer that's different from the other Call of Duties. So the first thing is it's crossplay between consoles and PC. And the first beta test will run from September 12th to the 16th exclusively on PS4. And those who pre-order the game can jump on September 12th, while the rest of the people on PS4 can hop in on September 14th. And then the second beta test will begin on September 19th, and that'll be available on PC, Xbox, and PS4, and that'll be to test crossplay, similar to the first beta test. This one, for the pre-order players, can hop on September 19th, while the rest of the people can join the beta on the 21st. And that one's from the 19th to the 23rd. So
we have early access being PlayStation users?
Yeah. And you don't have to pre-order the game. If you pre-order, you'll get like 2 days early.
So on Xbox, you have to pre-order to play the beta?
Incorrect.
Incorrect. Heard.
Heard? I don't know if you heard. If you heard, I wouldn't have to repeat it.
Hey, wow. All right, we're so spicy
Mark
on the
was
podcast.
quick with that one, boy.
Yeah.
That shit came off the dome.
You gotta like not be tapping that. I'm telling you. Like, you gotta stop with this.
Don't worry, it's my first thing on the list.
So right before, so just so everyone knows, right before he's clicking a pen, I'll tell him to stop. And he's got a little notepad. And what does the first thing on your notepad say?
It says kill Mark, then Justin.
Jesus Christ, you heard it here on record.
That's the only news stories that
That's what Joel wrote down. That's what he brought to the podcast room.
I'm sorry.
No, so it's there's like a first beta run, and that'll be only on PS4, and it's multiple days. But if you pre-order the game, you can jump into that beta run early, and then an open one will start. And then the second beta run will be for multiple platforms, and that's crossplay. But if you pre-order the game, you can hop into that second one early, and then there's an open one in that same time frame, but it just starts 2 days later.
Okay.
So it's a little bit confused, but like, first one runs the 12th through the 16th.
But that's the first one is for PlayStation. Just to clarify, because PlayStation has the exclusive access.
Exactly.
Okay.
PlayStation is the best.
And then people who pre-order can hop into that one on the 12th, but the people who don't pre-order can hop into that one on the 14th. And then the second one, which is crossplay, will be the 19th to the 23rd. Pre-order players can hop in on the 19th, and then everyone else can hop in on the 21st. So either way, no matter what console you're on, you can still get an open beta.
Yeah.
It's just it'll be a little bit later than the people who pre-order it. And if you're on PS4, no matter what, you're going to be able to play earlier.
When are you hopping on, Mark? You pre-ordering the game?
What do you mean? I mean, I'm probably not gonna pre-order it. So It looks great though. We'll talk about that. Like, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll probably hop into the open beta though.
Okay.
I tend to not pre-order games as of like 2016-ish.
What burn do you mark?
Mafia 3.
Yeah.
Well, specifically.
Yeah,
If we're giving,
specifically,
if we're giving examples, that's the game that maybe be like, maybe I'll just wait.
But you know this is gonna be good. Why would you not just pre-order and get that early access?
Because you can pre-order it a day before it comes out. The beta is not going to be a huge deal to me.
Yeah, but you're gonna spend $60 now, later. You know,
$60. Well, actually, no.
it's only 60 because there's no
season pass.
There's no season pass. Remember, they announced that when the
You're
game
right.
was revealed.
There's no season pass.
So just 60, not the traditional $100 we spend on fucking Black Ops.
True. There's no season
the traditional $100.
And they said that they will be releasing. Hold on, I'm just stalling for a second because you jumped the gun a little bit. I was supposed to read a quote with the old free season pass part.
Sorry, I jumped the gun a lot.
Jumps the gun.
We got fast swimmers.
But anyway, today at the event, creative director and co-studio head at Infinity Ward said that our goal with Modern Warfare is to bring all gamers together from day one to play together. And we're doing away with the season pass. We're delivering a mix of free maps, a ton of content following launch, and we're developing the game for crossplay.
Wow.
Crossplay.
I was like, cosplay? Wow, that's interesting.
Crossplay.
You want to dress up as a fucking 40-year-old Marine? Look.
We're live testing now, and fans will get to try for themselves the next month in the beta. This is a new day for Call of Duty multiplayer, and today is just the start. We have many more exciting reveals coming for fans that we can't wait to share. So basically, they're just saying that they don't want to have the separation they've had in the past where like some people might have the Black Ops pass and don't have the pass, so they get to play on maps that
It's
people
kind of how
don't.
Black Ops 4 is fucking us over, who brought the pass and they still release free maps.
Yeah,
for
true.
the fucking plebes.
Because they realize that they'd rather have more people playing the game, period. So just make some of that stuff free so everyone can play.
Well, why didn't they let me realize that before I gave them $40?
40. It was
40 more dollars.
It's 50.
It's 100 in total.
But that's like
we buy that.
if it's bundled in.
Yeah, we buy that
But the
bundle,
Black Ops
so we
pass on
save
its
like
own
$10,
It's
right?
$49.99.
Yeah, but the version we buy is
$100.
yeah.
That's
I mean, it's not like cheap. I know it's like $100.
I mean, yeah, that's still
We're
like
just psychopaths.
that's more than
Black
a 60
Ops.
with no pass.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll have no pass. They'll come out with maps and then the other stuff they haven't detailed specifically, but there'll be more content coming out after. Some of the other stuff, and like I said, we'll link the reveal trailer below. But some of the gameplay specific stuff that's different from other Call of Duties. There's no mini map.
There's no mini map.
There's no mini map.
Oh shit! So you gotta be like a true fucking gamer in here.
So it'll be similar.
Get your Astro headsets here to fucking ground rumble.
Yeah, similar. Yeah, you gotta be a sweaty.
You gotta be a sweaty
one.
fuck. You gotta hear everything. You'll be like, oh shit.
They're right around the corner. Actually, similar to Blackout, you'll have a number on the top of your screen, so you can be like, "Oh, enemies at 105 or whatever."
Okay.
That kind of system is there, but
That's
there's
cool.
no mini map. Just to tie in this point with a little bit of the kill streaks, there's a personal UAV you can get, which is a 2 or a 3 kill streak, and that will only be for you, not the rest of the team, and that'll give you a mini map, and you have a UAV. But then there's also a kill streak that's a 4 kill streak, and that's an all-team UAV.
Fuck the all team UAV.
So, but I'm saying, so
I mean,
that will cause a mini map to pop up in
Yeah.
a traditional UAV.
also, how do you feel about kill streaks going back to kill streaks, not score streaks? I like it.
I mean, I like
that.
it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
like that
'cause that's
because score
annoying.
streaks were some bullshit. Because like I feel like you would get enough kills to like get a certain kill streak like in a traditional Call of Duty setting, but it wasn't enough like points. Like it would be like, oh, it's only because like certain game modes like kill confirm, it's 50 points per kill, not 100, so it wasn't a full kill. So I kind of enjoy that. Also with kill confirm, you can just like fucking cheese it and collect a whole bunch of fucking things like a little dog tags and not get one kill and get like a fucking Harrier.
That's exactly what I was talking. I was literally about to say that. But the same thing with kill confirm. That would be perfect for, because when you play kill confirm now, you have to collect the dog tags to even think about getting a kill.
What I'm saying is you don't even need to get kills in that game mode because you can just collect dog tags and be a filthy fucking.
I know, but what I'm saying is that's how you get score streaks. But now
Yeah.
we're gonna actually be able to get kill streaks, and I'm gonna be able to have like a freaking K9 unit.
You're not gonna get shit. You suck, dog.
I don't think
You're
K9
trash.
unit is a kill streak in the game.
What is a kill streak in
I
this
know, but I
game?
was just like, I was giving.
So that's another thing. If you there are gameplay videos
Who's
out
on
there
the
that'll
plane?
show
Mark, we didn't say what the time was.
what?
We didn't
Yeah,
say
we
what the
did.
time was in the beginning, did we?
I think we did.
I mean, we did. I said it was August 1st.
Yeah, but we didn't say it was.
Wow, you want me to derail this whole story, this whole
Jesus
flow that we got going,
Christ.
just so we can tell
It's
everybody?
currently 8:33. I think the people like to know when we record podcasts.
It's 8:33 p.m.
PM.
Yeah,
It's
this one's a little bit
8:33
later than
p.m.
usual. We usually been recording.
Thursday night. That's what I'm saying. We're out of schedule. We're at the night podcast, so it's a nice little vibe.
Joey with the biz and Dusty Justin have had dinner, and I have not. So I'm a little bit on the ready to get this thing going.
Yeah, but you can perform, you know?
No mistake if Joel
you can
keeps cutting
perform.
off-
You're
Hey, I'm
hungry.
always ready to perform.
That's what I'm saying.
Make no mistake if Joel cuts off Mark one more time, Mark is gonna throw a couple things at Joey.
No, I'm fine.
No, but
Okay,
that's
he
a
was-
crucial part of the podcast. Is
I
Mark
know.
always mentions the time.
He's the one that wanted to text me about the Bill Burr concert. You know what I'm
Oh, shit! Sorry, Liz.
saying? Anyway, so
Yeah, my bad.
Justin doesn't want to be my friend. So moving right along.
I
Kill
never said
streaks.
that.
No, actually, we gotta keep everyone filled in. Anyway, there's a Bill Burr concert going on in North Carolina. So if you
Asheville,
want
North Carolina.
if you want
October
to kill
10th.
two of our co-hosts,
If you
you
wanna
can meet
come
them
see
at the
us.
show, John Wilkes Booth style.
Mark might be there. Mark might not be there. We'll see.
Yeah, I might be there, I might not be there.
If you don't want to kill us and just say hi, that's also kind of cool.
That'd be better. Yeah,
I would prefer that.
try that. We like enjoying doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But-
like breathing.
They have the kill streaks, some of them, but I didn't see a canine unit as being one of them. The ones that I saw, and of course there are more, or I'm sure that there will be more that they'll show. Nukes are in the game.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
Tanks
shit.
are actually in the game, so there's vehicles in the
Oh,
game.
we saw the
Oh, World at War
But is
style.
that a score streak?
It's a score streak, so you can deliver it, kind of like
okay.
deliver it in, and you can drive it.
And it blows up after
Is
a
it
certain amount of
limited?
time?
Is
One
it limited to certain maps, or is it every map?
I don't know, but I know one person can drive it and one person can be a gunner on it, so two people can fit into it. And I know that at launch they'll have a certain amount of vehicles, but moving forward they're going to add more vehicles in.
Okay, so that also means that the maps are going to be huge.
Yes.
I feel like.
So they have a 100-player mode called. It's not a battle royale mode, but it's called.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's called Ground War.
I thought it was 20 versus 20.
There is a 20 versus 20, but there's also a 100+ mode.
Oh
I
shit.
like that.
So another thing that you'll piece together by this point is that a lot of the things that I've seen, at least at first when we saw the 2v2 gunfight mode, which is a new mode coming to the game where you get a randomly selected class and so does the other team, and you just kill each other, and after 40 seconds, if you don't kill each other, there's a flag that spawns in the middle, and you got to capture that.
Which also looks great.
Yeah, which also looks
Yeah.
really cool. Fuck, what was I saying?
You're talking about Ground War.
Ground
War,
War.
Ground War.
Right. Oh, I was going to say that the 2v2 gunfight mode made me think of Siege.
Yeah.
But now more so than Siege, I'm thinking it looks like they're kind of going for a Battlefield-esque kind of thing.
Which I said at the very beginning.
Which
When
is
we
great.
first watched.
Well, Mitch, this is just
Yeah,
a better game.
there's
than
no
both-
issue with Battlefield. I like Battlefield.
This
I
game
like,
is just better than both of those.
I like that the maps are going to be bigger now. I like that there's more like the vehicles.
Yeah. No, I'm super
I feel
into
like they're
it.
picking out some like the good things from Battlefield.
I
like
agree.
the vehicles were really good. That's what everyone. I feel like everyone.
I hope it just doesn't have the issue that I have when I play Battlefield, where it's just like long times of running and not doing much, and then like when I run into somebody, I get like domed by a sniper like 50 yards away in a
It is
fucking
true, but
bush.
it's also Call of Duty, so I feel like it might be a little bit more like.
I feel like it'll be tighter. Yeah, I
quicker
don't
pace. I
think...
feel like they're gonna make it. Hopefully, if they do it right.
I don't think it'll be... Yeah, I don't think the maps will be, like, huge. But then some of the other kill streaks, counter UAVs are returning. Those are normal. But at this time, since nobody has a mini-map, the way they'll actually work is more so like a scrambler. You'll get it, and it'll be something you'll put down, and
Okay.
that'll scramble UAV for
like a
people
like
in the area.
recon sting in Black Ops 4.
Exactly.
Like the
Yes.
specialist recon.
No. So...
no, like a sensor
like-
dart.
No, because the sensor dart shows you where enemies are in that vicinity. This will be more so like when you play as Reaper and he puts down a scrambler. I'm talking about counter UAVs.
Okay, counter
Oh,
UAVs.
counter.
A regular
counter.
UAV
Oh, okay.
will just give you a mini map, show you where they are for the whole map.
Okay,
but
okay,
a counter
okay.
UAV this time around.
I thought you
since
said
they
there was
don't-
an equipment that's like a regular UAV.
No, so I'm saying
misheard
yeah,
you.
because since there's no mini maps for anyone, a counter UAV won't act the way it used to. Now it's just kind of like a scrambler.
Where it just like you fucks up your HUD and shit.
Chopper gunners are returning.
Oh shit, that's a classic.
Emergency airdrops are returning, but this time instead of 4 care packages, it's 3 that it'll drop. If you remember, those were in Modern Warfare 2.
shit.
Care packages, of course, are in the game since there's emergency airdrops. Harrier strikes are also in the game. They are just regular airstrikes, but basically the last one that comes in will hover over the area and defend that area. Predator missiles are in the game. But some of the kill streaks will not be just they won't just happen like you can look at a map and place where they want to be. Some of them specifically will be like you have to have an enemy in your line of sight to be able to actually activate them.
Yeah.
So those are some things that are going on. there is that 20v20 mode. There's vehicles. Another thing that we saw that I know Joel saw too is that now when you're in the middle of a fight, you'll be able to customize your guns on the fly. Not necessarily your classes, which we'll get into that in a moment. But you can customize your guns on the fly. So, for example, I don't know, if you're at a choke point, somebody's just like ripping and tearing and they're too far and you can't see them.
The ripping and the tearing. The ripping and the tearing.
Oh, you like that? I didn't even know I was doing that.
I got that.
We got the synchronicity, the ripping and the tearing. If you want to see a good video, look up ripping and the tearing.
Hedonism 2003 or whatever.
Hedonism 22, right?
22. I don't know.
It's like a series.
It was very popular. It became popular by Tosh.0.
Okay, well, look up hedonism. I mean, we might even link that. That's just something.
That's a funny ass video.
That's just something that you should know. That's one of the knowledge that you should know. But, yeah, so you can customize your weapons on the fly. And going back to what I was saying about the actual class customization is you no longer have a pick 10 system like Black Ops was running off of. This is going to go back to a more traditional Modern Warfare sense where you pick your primary gun, your secondary gun, 3 perks, a lethal grenade, and a secondary grenade. Oh, God. Which sounds great to me.
That sounds amazing.
Not too complicated. But the layer of complexity that they're trying to add onto the game comes in the gunsmith. So when you're adding attachments onto your gun, every gun has 30 to 40 attachments, and you can choose which ones you want on your guns, and each attachment will have pros and cons. And if you want gameplay footage of customizing guns out there, you can find it on YouTube, I promise you. The whole user interface looks very clean, and it's not the same like the other games where it's like just all of the gun stats and then you'll see some in green and some in red. It'll actually say pros and cons because there's so many different things that can affect your guns, like reload speed, damage, the way you run, all of that kind of stuff. So that looks really nice and that's very different. The game comes out on October 25th 2019 and
nice early release date. Nice early release date with following Black Ops 4 that released October.
No longer November release dates. And then in addition to this, they showed the Dark Edition, which is a special edition of the game, which there was a GameStop posting for this, which has recently been taken down, but it was rumored that it'll be costing $200, which sounds about right. Even though there's no season pass, the reason for that high price is going to be similar to, if you remember the Modern Warfare 2 special edition, this version comes with night vision goggles.
Oh, shit! They're bringing back the night vision goggles?
So they showed that on their official stream. You can check that out, too. It's basically just them talking about how, well, they're rebooting the series, so they figured why not a good time to go back and do the night vision goggles again. Also, considering that edition of the game came out exactly, Modern Warfare 2's edition of the game, which came out in 2009, is exactly 10 years old. So, like, the technology has progressed so much, so the actual night goggles that they use look like fucking wild and stuff. So that's the Dark Edition of the game.
And you know what? This game, I feel like, even though it is called Modern Warfare, I think it has a lot of Modern Warfare 2 spirit in it.
I completely agree.
Especially in the multiplayer.
And the kill streaks.
And the kill streaks and all that stuff. I think it has a lot of, like, Modern Warfare 2 in, like, the multiplayer spirit. I think the Modern Warfare aspect probably will come more when you play the single-player campaign. Because
I agree.
The traditional Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty 4, that was released in 2000, whenever the fuck, like
2007.
That one, that was like probably that was one of the top tier like single player games. So I think that this one is also gonna have a really strong single player as well. But then the multiplayer, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and they said before that for their single player, they're really trying to go for like a gritty, morally challenging campaign where it kind of supposed to bring the real Modern Warfare to life and how it's terrible and you have to make rough decisions and stuff like that. But something that Joel brought to my attention was one of the kill streaks is actually called White Phosphorus, and it's a chemical.
I don't know if that's the exact name.
It is the exact name.
It is? Okay, so I don't know if it's the exact name or that's what like the kill streak's mimicking. Because I don't know. Is there really Harrier strikes? I have no idea how the military works.
I mean, I don't know how it compared to that kind of stuff.
They really call them predator missiles, drone strikes?
But I mean, either way, the white phosphorus is a real chemical.
Yeah, it's a real
that will burn through flesh and bone on the real battlefield and can be reignited after like multiple hours. But the whole thing,
reignited, like set on fire.
Yeah,
it like burns your flesh.
Yeah,
it's like it has a really high burn rate,
but then also even after it's completely burned out, it'll linger and you can ignite it. It's kind of like a smoke screen. White phosphorus.
And the Geneva Convention
white phosphorus. Yes.
Phosphorus spelled with a P. Before you even try.
He knows.
It was also like ruled like by the Geneva Convention as like unusable, very like you can't use it against civilians. Like it's against like the international laws. And it was most recently used, I believe, in the Syrian civil war. when the Syrian government used it against its people.
And the reason why there's controversy around it is because it's such a deadly weapon of war, and probably just like as you're saying, it is a modern thing.
Yeah, it's a modern.
So people are a little bit sensitive about it, which I understand. But the only thing that I don't really understand is that the arguments that I've seen being against it is that it's such a vicious weapon and they shouldn't have it in a game. But there's nuclear bombs as a 25 kill streak. I mean, I'm not saying that it's like lighthearted or whatever, but they've already it's not worse than a nuke.
Is like, I think this is just kind of, I think honestly, like, the only issue, the biggest issue is the fact that it's a Call of Duty game it's the same thing with the single player that's covering these like gray areas. The only issue is that it's Call of Duty, and people think that, it might not be handled with care because it's Call of Duty, and Call of Duty's mostly, in most gamers, is associated with like the bro gamer, like, yeah, kill
That's
shit.
true.
So that's probably why it has like, everybody's like super sensitive about it, because this white phosphorus, they specifically referenced that it was used in Spec Ops: The Line, which is more like gritty and like a more like I see like that. It's kind of like, I think that's from Call of Duty. Honestly, that picture.
No, that picture right there that we're looking at is from Spec Ops: The Line.
So Spec Ops: The Line. So yeah, they used it in Spec Ops: The Line.
Which, not to spoil it, even though it's an old game, if you haven't played it, you definitely should. But I still won't spoil it. The point of it in Spec Ops: The Line is that it's such a horrible thing.
Yeah, it's this horrible thing that you have to do, and like,
well,
So it's like a powder.
whatever.
That's a spoiler, but
Whatever. Who gives a fuck? This is fucking like 10-year-old game. No, that you had to use this in like a game, Spec Ops: The Line. That's what most people are like. Well, see, it was used there with care and stuff like that. How do you? I mean, in the multiplayer,
it might be used with care in the campaign.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just they added into
especially
the multiplayer.
with the head of the multiplayer, not the multiplayer, head of the single player is the guy from Naughty Dog, ex Naughty Dog guy, and he brought a couple guys with him. So I think that the single player is going to be better than most people expect and more mature than most people expect. I think you're going to get like actually a really good single player. I think it's going to shock people who actually play it, and a lot of people who don't play it are going to write like fucking BS headlines saying like, oh wow, this is all problematic and this and that. But if you actually play it, I think it's not going to be that bad. Obviously, we'll play it and we'll tell you what we think about it. But from what I've seen, I think it's interesting. Obviously, in the multiplayer sense, I can see why it's kind of tacky. But they're dropping fucking nukes. So if you have a bigger issue with this shit than nukes, then I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you.
That's how I felt about it too. But
and you're also using machine guns. You're also just killing people. Like, there's a lot of like, if you want to start going down that rabbit hole, you're doing a lot of fucked up shit in these games. But at the end of the day, it's just a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's true. Like, even
if they use it in poor taste in a single player, I understand why you're upset. Like, if they use it and you're like fucking playing as like a soldier and like, oh look, let's fucking drop this white phosphorus on these fucks, and you start laughing, like the soldiers are laughing, like something really fucked up in that sense, like insensitive. Then I understand why that.
Even if it's fucked up and insensitive, it's from a campaign standpoint, they should be okay with it because it's like an artistic.
Maybe even that's trying to deliver a message, but I don't even think they would do that.
I don't think they would do that.
They wouldn't do that, but you just have to think. There probably were people like that in the army that were like, yeah, let's just do that.
Let's not like paint a broad brush on the army, but let's just say
I'm not saying that, but no, there's probably. I mean, when you're fighting them, they're probably just like.
I agree with what he's saying, because specifically what he's saying is not painting a broad brush. Specifically, he's not doing a general kind of thing. He's just saying there are some people, and I'm sure that there are.
Yeah, there are some.
There are always going to be those.
When there's a big group of people, there's going to be good and bad people.
So, I agree with what you're saying. Like, that stuff will happen, and that's why even if it's horrible, whatever, this and that. If they're trying to go for some kind of story that's
trying to make a commentary,
modern, there's going to be shit that's going to be horrifying. That's kind of the point of war. Like, people don't go up in arms if they watch a movie that's something crazy, and
that's
it's like
what I
modern
was so
warfare.
upset about. Yeah,
so
like,
just because it's a game,
you know what I kind of feel like this. I mean, it kind of hit me in the head. You can tell me I'm wrong. You're probably gonna tell me I'm wrong, but I feel like this is kind of like a playable like documentary. Like I mean,
I wouldn't say you're wrong.
I would say about like war and all that stuff, and then like you just kind of like play it.
I mean,
kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're trying to say. It's not a documentary because it's not based on exact events. They're just
of course not. But I'm just saying, like, it's like.
Yeah,
kind of in a way.
I know what you're saying, but the issue is that people don't look at these kind of things from our perspective, and I'm not saying we're right or we're wrong, because this goes into so many different things. This can branch into movies and songs and everything about what people find controversial and what they don't find controversial. Yeah. What we have to understand is this is our personal opinion, so I know to somebody I could be wrong in saying this. Yeah. We play this video game, no matter what happens in the game. I won't give explicit reasons, but basically I don't really have a limit on what I'd watch and wouldn't be bothered by, just because I look at it as an artistic expression. If I watch a movie in theaters and like it's some crazy wild scene, I'm going to leave the theater and be like, okay, it was a movie. It's supposed to affect me in some kind of way.
Yeah.
If it's supposed to portray something that happened in
That's
real
what
life,
they want you to. They want you to feel.
Yeah,
They want you to feel.
what people have to understand is that if this, by the way, we haven't played this game. This game is not out. So if it does happen and it's poorly done, we'll know that it's poorly done. We'll be like, okay, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
But if we're playing the game and they use white phosphorus and we're like, holy shit, that's horrible, that's good. That means that they did a good job representing the horrible parts about it. Similar if you watch a movie and something horrible happens in it and you're like, oh shit, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's what should happen. If you're watching and you're like, haha, that was dumb, that's a problem. That's when it's disrespectful and it's not handled correctly.
Yes.
But if it actually horrifies you like it
agree.
should, that's good and that's how it should be. I think people should just play the game before. But everyone's got to make a paycheck, you know?
I know.
People have to write these news stories.
People have to write these BS articles.
People have to do it, so I understand that too. So there's multiple
nothing else
parts
to
to
write
it.
about, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like video games aren't like, I mean, I know that originally they're supposed to be fun, but now we're getting to the part where if you want to make the art serious, you want to take it and have people view it as art. Not every movie makes you feel good. Not every video game is supposed to make you. When you play The Last of Us, that's not necessarily a fun experience, but it's an amazing experience.
Yeah.
So I think that I really hope that Call of Duty does it right, because if it does it wrong, it's gonna get a lot of shit.
Backlash. Yeah.
It's gonna get
true.
a lot of
It's gonna get a lot of
backlash.
bullshit.
That's true for
It's
sure.
gonna get a lot of backlash.
Like what you were saying too, like how we're like, oh, we don't know if it's
Call of
if it's
Duty's
good- if
already
it's bad,
fighting-
then like all of us are also gonna be like,
I mean, if they
Yeah.
do it and it's disrespectful and it's poorly handled, I can't say anything. I'd be like, yo, that was fucking rough.
Because it's
They should
already
never do that
fighting an
again.
uphill battle.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, remember no Russian? Remember that shit? And it's like, it's already fighting an uphill battle. So hopefully it does it respectfully. Obviously, you don't want to like disrespect anybody like that, you know? So I mean, you just want to experience good art.
Yeah. And to highlight for anyone, I mean, we all know what No Russian is, but if you don't remember what it was in Modern Warfare 2, there was a mission in the campaign where you were playing as Russian terrorists who go into an airport and basically slaughter people.
And I mean, that's like,
It's
which
about
was
as bad
crazy.
as it
I remember
gets.
playing
Yeah.
that like when I was like,
dude, I remember
5.
playing that as a kid.
I remember when I was little, I was like,
I remember playing it
didn't
as
know
a
what I was
kid,
doing.
and I remember playing as a kid knowing, because we were old enough, 2009,
Yeah,
right?
it's 2009, yeah.
So we were like 11, 12.
We were 12, yeah, 11, 12.
So I was like old enough where I was like, this is kind of fucked up. And like that kind of just stuck with me, like, yeah, that's really fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't like playing it like a power fantasy. Yeah, I'm fucking
That's the thing. You're not going through it laughing.
I was like 5 or 6, I think, or 7 when I played.
You're
I
playing it and you're like...
I stuck into your room, or like when you left or something. I used to play it,
Yeah.
and I think I remember I played that mission, and I don't remember like thinking like, yeah, like holy shit, this is like good. I was really like, oh fuck, like this shit's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's probably what they wanted to make you feel. They wanted to make you feel.
I agree.
Holy shit, this is like
I agree.
fucked up. But I guess people just don't see it from that point of view.
And I think that
Yeah.
I think we have probably maybe a more liberal view when it comes to art, where I feel like anything goes in art.
Yeah.
I agree. That's definitely a very
In my
liberal view
opinion,
to
like
look at
you
it.
want to paint anything that's fucked up. I mean, fucking one of Van Gogh's most famous paintings. I don't know actually. I don't know if it's Van Gogh or Picasso. I forgot.
It's okay.
One of those guys is Spanish. So probably say Pablo
You
Picasso.
said Spanish? Then
yeah,
it's Picasso.
It's Picasso. Remember, he had one of his most famous paintings is like fucking of like Spain getting bombed over, but it's just like abstract, so you don't realize what it is. But like when you know the story behind it, and it's like beautiful. Everybody loves that piece of art because art can cover like difficult subjects.
Because it's something that's been given time. I think it's because it's something that's been given time and people grow to respect it. Just like similar in like...
But no Russian hasn't gained respect. If anything, more people are just...
True.
Anything, if that was released now, it'd probably be way more problematic than it was back then.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. And the thing is like art as a medium and paintings and stuff obviously has been around for thousands of years.
When I say art, I mean general, like movies, TVs,
I know.
like, yeah.
For sure, but I'm just saying like paintings and stuff like
Yeah.
that, thausands of years, so people have gone to respect it. It doesn't matter if you're new to that kind of thing.
Probably
you're
in
gonna
his
respect it
day,
no matter what's
Picasso
being
got
said.
shit for it, you think?
I mean, maybe in the day, but he's Picasso, so I'm sure he's fine. Like even movies have been around for, I would say, around 2 to 3 times as long as video games have been.
Yeah.
So people have gone to a point where they'll respect movies and that it's an artistic form, but I'm sure there was a time where it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a
It
time where...
wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. There was absolutely a time where it wasn't, just because like either the technology wasn't there or people didn't respect it to that point. Video games have only been around since, I would say... I mean, home consoles have only been around since the 70s. So...
And it really only got popular in the 80s with Nintendo.
And they really only started having like stories until like the 90s. Like,
Yeah.
they have stories that you can fantasize about in terms of, like, reading an extra lore in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, but I'm talking about 90s, like, watching cutscenes and seeing awful things actually play out on screen.
Yeah.
So that's such a short period of time to people to get used to it. And the thing is, obviously, all of us play video games as a video game
We
show.
grew up playing video games.
So we grew up playing it, and even if we didn't grow up playing it, even if I started playing it 2 years ago, the point is we're fans. We understand the medium. We understand the people who are creating it and what kind of things they're trying to get out of it. So it makes sense to us. No Russian as an example, there were tons of news like
That was like
it was
all
on the
over
news.
news. Yeah, that was on news. That
It
was like on
on,
mainstream news.
You could just go out into your living room and it'd be on the news. And the thing is, do you think those people that are playing it, and hey, maybe they were. I can't say that I know for sure, but you think those newscasters were probably playing Modern Warfare 2? Probably not. They're probably just like, oh shit, this is awful. It's a video game. Our kids are playing this. Well, your kids are playing that, but
they
it's
also
an
shouldn't be
M-rated
playing
game.
it though, because it's rated M.
It's a rated M game, so it's
So-
not
I
made
can say that
for
too, but I did
kids.
play that game at like 5 years old, and I'm fine.
Every kid is gonna play it, just like every kid is gonna watch porn. You're supposed to be 18, but obviously you're gonna
Christ,
Oh,
Mark is
yeah.
getting deep for that.
I mean, no, we're just
I know what you're saying.
I understand.
You know what I mean?
Jesus
Everyone's
Christ, Joel,
My
I mean,
bad. I was watching the first previews.
people are gonna be watching. People are gonna be watching R-rated movies, all that kind of stuff.
No, yeah.
That's natural. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily a bad thing. It's just how people
Yeah,
are.
that's just how it is.
So it's basically, to just summarize all the kind of things that I've been trying to say, it's a medium that's too young for everyone to respect, but the people who play it obviously respect it.
Yeah.
And the people who are writing these articles,
That's
even
why
if
I
they
get
do play
upset though,
games-
because the people who do play it and people who should respect it are people who write these articles too.
that's true. You're right.
That's what the most upsetting part is.
Yeah,
if we
you're
can't,
right.
if we can't support our art form and uplift it, and obviously when something is egregious, like on fucking Steam, they had like those like school shooter games. Like that has no place. That's
Wait,
not.
what?
Yeah, Steam.
Well, I mean, there's always sick fucks out there everywhere. So people make games on their own and they upload them to Steam and they're like awful things. I don't know specific ones that you're talking
There's,
about.
no,
There
they do
are
have
games
ones that are like
yeah.
school shooter simulator shit. Like it's like really fucked up shit.
Yeah, there are games that they have to pull from Steam all the time because people will just make fucked up shit, and that makes sense. And
And
there's no
that's-
taste in that.
yeah.
Obviously, it's just.
I
some
mean, I feel like we've played fucked up games. I always remember this one game when I was little on the computer that we used to play. The guy with the skull, he had a skull head and a chainsaw. Do you remember that? It was just like a little tab game,
I don't
I don't know what
remember.
you're talking
and the
about.
guy had he would have like a skull and a chainsaw, and then like you just like walk through the office or whatever.
But you saying a tab game? You mean a flash game? I'm sure that's what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And flash games are not something you pay for, and not something that's
Yes,
regulated. That's the thing.
yeah.
So these kinds of games, like those fucked up games,
like
are
that gets rated by the
Yeah.
ESRBA.
yeah, exactly.
ESBA?
ESRB.
ESRB. I don't know what the
ESRB. No, you're.
I
you're
really
close.
don't even know what it
you're
is.
Close. You're only like a letter off. It's ESRB for sure.
Yeah. No, being dead ass, I have no idea what it is. I haven't
Yeah.
picked up an actual game case in like 10 years.
But yeah, like games have to be regulated and stuff like that. Like even if like nudity, for example, in games, occasionally you'll play a story game that'll have nudity in it. Like maybe there's breasts or maybe somebody's penis is in it, but it's not in like a sexy way ever. And
Yeah.
it's
The
only
Witcher 3. Have you
occasional.
played The Witcher 3?
I have played The Witcher 3, not to see nudity,
They
but,
fucking The Witcher 3 though.
but it's not like to turn you on.
What about GTA? I mean,
My
Joel.
only point,
I
of
mean,
what, my point of what I'm trying to say is that M-rated games like will have like okay nudity whatever, but like there's adult only games and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So those fucked up games on the internet that are like flash games are just not regulated, so they're just not part of it.
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't even know how we got on that topic, but basically,
the controversy behind Modern Warfare with the white phosphorus and the single player itself.
so basically, just if you play it,
Just have an open mind.
just have an open mind.
Just have an open
That's the
mind.
easiest way
Don't
to sum
judge
it up,
everything
yeah.
on site. Just fucking experience it. Form your own opinions. Be your own person, please.
And also, I know we can't like control that, but like also another thing, like you should only be able to criticize something that you are good at or that you do.
no,
Like
I think
you play video.
Are good at
Really?
is a very
Not
I think-
not are good at, but
I think what you're trying to say is you should.
interesting.
I think you should only. I think what you're trying to say is you should only criticize things that you actually play.
yeah, or do. Like I'm not gonna comment. I'm not gonna like criticize like soccer players if I don't know how to play soccer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand exactly.
I see the point that you're trying to make, but it's still cryptic. But I see the point you're trying to make.
Like they're not playing these video games,
yeah, don't criticize.
so don't criticize
like,
the
don't
video
cri-
game.
like don't
we should
criti-
be able. Not that. Not
don't
like,
criticize a
I'm not saying,
movie
like,
unless like you've seen that movie.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
necessarily have to be an avid fan.
You
but
can't
like,
say the
it's
movie's
unless-
bad without
unless you're
watching
me and Mark says he loves it.
What are we saying?
I'm saying you guys saying criticize things that you only experience. I'm saying unless you're me and you say you love it, then I can shit all over it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's our like
But
inside
Joel's
jokes.
is different.
Yeah, Joel's different. Anyway, moving right along from that heavy-handed topic, we've got the PlayStation Plus games for August.
Oh,
Available
yeah.
from August 6th to September 2nd, Wipeout Omega Collection and Sniper Elite 4.
Why does that sound so dirty?
Oh,
You said,
yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah. I
You're
love
like,
free
oh,
games.
yeah. I was like, jeez.
I was like, I'm not even listening. I'm trying to announce this shit, but all right. So, yeah, with the Wipeout Omega Collection, which is a series of Wipeout games that came out on PS3, up-res to HD for PS4, and including all the DLC. Sniper Elite 4 is a game that came out in 2017 and is a third-person shooter which has a single-player campaign, 4-player co-op, and multiplayer, which is retailing at $60. That's a full game you can get.
Is this the one where you can kill Hitler?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't play
You know,
it.
there's one of them that marketed like the fact that they can kill Hitler. One of the Sniper Elite games.
Maybe there's probably 3 then, not this one. But we'll find out. It's free. We'll pick it up and we can play it.
That's true.
Um,
Co-op.
Before these games come out, though, don't forget to pick up July's games, which are available until August 5th, which is Horizon Chase Turbo and Detroit Become Human, the deluxe edition. And don't forget that version of Detroit Become Human also comes with Heavy Rain. So if you haven't got Heavy Rain, really there's 3 PS Plus games. It's Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human, and Horizon Chase Turbo.
And Detroit is an amazing game.
It is a great game.
And then Heavy Rain was a great game when at its time, but probably has a lot of technical difficulties that, like, if you play it now in 2019, you'd be like, eh. But
Just
the
that
story
it's
I
old.
heard, the story I heard is very strong with that game as well.
I
Yeah.
almost played Detroit 2 times. I played it like 1.5 times.
Yeah, Detroit's good. I only finished it one time, but that's because I never went for the platinum. But I have it now, so maybe I'll go back. Who knows?
I went to do it to
I
go-
got 60% of the trophy.
I went to go do it because I think at the time you weren't able to like select like where you wanted to start. I mean, I don't know if you can do it now.
I think you were always able to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like a chapter select?
Yeah, they had a chapter select in that game.
Oh, I didn't know I could do that then. Never mind. I'm just stupid.
That's
So,
true, too.
I went to like halfway play and then I tried to like save everybody and then like
That's fine. Yeah.
You know.
I only finished the game with 55%, but that's close. But I'll let you win that one.
That's okay.
Joel said
Everybody
everybody.
survived in my thing. Except that one fuck.
Only one person
Who?
survived mine.
It's like Jim or some shit. I don't know. The fucking... What is
Jim?
Not,
Oh, the protester guy?
not anybody who's important. Luther survived. Kara
I'm
survived.
gonna have to ask you to not beat the table.
Kara.
You keep it up. This table's
It's
not the
not-
only thing
it's
I'm
not-
beating, right?
It's not Kara, it's Kara.
Whatever the fuck. God damn it, Mark. You're doing it more egregiously. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Joel's word of the week, egregious.
Agree. Ah, did I say that all the time?
You said it all the time on the last episode,
Jesus
too.
Christ. I said it again, didn't I?
It's alright.
I gotta stop saying that.
But you said Luther lived for you. The only person who lived for me was Kara.
Damn. All right. You
Really?
fucked.
And
Not
she
even the
didn't
little
live
girl?
She didn't live in her human form. She lived in her
my
android
God,
form.
Yeah,
In
that's
her
why I
what
got.
form?
Her android form.
That's why I got 60% of those trophies. Everybody survived for me.
What do you mean in her android form?
Like you go to like,
Just explain it.
Like not her skin and her hair, just like
wait,
a-
spoilers
like a-
for
like a
fucking
plain-
Detroit.
Yeah.
Fine.
I mean,
dude.
once you heard who we were talking about, who lived and died, it was a spoiler. But basically, her in her
Oh, when they went to the
in
concentration
her robot
camp thing.
body. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Wait, but how do you... Wait, you survived that?
Yeah, you can get out of it.
Oh, I got clapped as soon as I tried to jump over the fence.
He got gassed.
Yeah.
Jesus
It's a concentration
That
camp.
guy...
They're robots. They can't breathe.
Jesus Christ.
They
They
don't
can
have
still
rights.
get gas. White phosphorus.
They don't-
Oh my god! Jeez.
I mean, take it easy on the people who are listening with headphones. Jesus.
I don't think it's that loud.
I don't think it's that loud. All of you fucking unison for your super move where you just scream into the fucking microphone.
Unison.
Remember when he said he was tired? He wasn't gonna talk much.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. to
Yeah,
that.
shut the fuck up.
Apparently, he just emptied out his taking a piss, and now he's all good to
I'm
go.
good to go.
Anyway, moving on with the superhero moves. This weekend, Evo 2019 kicks off in Las Vegas, August 2nd to the 6th, which I know for all of you that are saying that's longer than a weekend, I know that cuts into next week, but the actual events happen the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th, so please have mercy on my soul. But Evo is one of the biggest fighting tournaments around, and the official lineup for it this year has 9 games: Mortal Kombat 11, Tekken 7, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Soul Calibur 6, Street Fighter 5, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Samurai Showdown, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, and Under Night in Birth are the games that'll be on the official lineup. So mentioning that this is not really so much a breakdown. You can watch this, and by the way, if you've never watched a fighting game tournament but you like sports, just watch fighting game tournaments for the announcers alone.
It's fucking awesome, especially the Marvel vs. Capcom. That's also Marvel vs.
Which
Capcom
isn't actually here, which is worth
I know you
noting.
didn't mention that, which is very disappointing. But Marvel vs. Capcom is always like my favorite highlight of this. But also then like Super Smash. I never really got into the MK stuff. Did you like watching MK stuff?
I like watching MK stuff because I play it.
Yeah,
but it's not my favorite of the tournament stuff. The tournament stuff for me, the best is Tekken.
For me, I really like watching Street Fighter, and I don't even play Street Fighter, but I like watching Street Fighter play.
Yeah. It's fun to watch. It's true.
Yeah.
And since again, it's like Street Fighter is a fighting game I'm not really good at, so it's fun to watch people who are really good playing it. But ahead of the actual weekend happening, Street Fighter V, the next 3 characters that are coming to it have been leaked, but since they've been leaked, they've officially announced them because they fear they might as well. So E Honda, Poison, and Lucia are 3 characters coming to the game. E Honda was originally first appeared in Street Fighter 2. His bathhouse stage will also be coming as DLC to Street Fighter 5. Poison and Lucia are both from the Final Fight series, but Poison was in Ultra Street Fighter 4 before, and Lucia is completely brand new to the series. All 3 will be available on Sunday, August 4th, so the last day of the tournaments, which means that they were probably meaning to reveal
market it, yeah.
That's how they were going to do it. They were going to release it on the 4th and be like, hey, it's out now, but since it got leaked, they just officially revealed it early. And a bundle will be released on Monday, August 5th. That's called the Summer 2019 Character Bundle. So if you play Street Fighter V, you can look out for that. That'll be releasing everywhere. And then for me, at least I'm excited for it, for Mortal Kombat 11, they dropped a gameplay trailer for Nightwolf. And he will be available in early access on August 13th. And the reason why I say early access is because if you have the Combat Pass, you get all the DLC characters a week early.
Oh, shit.
So really,
do you have the Combat Pass?
I don't.
Oh.
So really, he'll be coming out on the 20th for everyone else.
Okay.
Currently, Shang Tsung is the only additional character in the game, but Nightwolf will be the second.
And his Marvel movie will be coming out next year.
Nightwolf?
Oh, Shang Tsung, you stupid fuck, is a Shang-Chi joke. God damn it.
I mean...
That went right over your head.
I mean, I wasn't paying attention.
I mean, I wasn't ready for that anyway.
You weren't ready for that.
It wasn't that I wasn't paying attention, it's that I wasn't ready for that. Huh?
What happened with Shang-Chi?
Nothing happened. Stop
Just
talking about it. Put your
Shang
mic down.
Shang-Chi.
He was saying that all the Shangs are similar.
No, I wasn't.
my God.
I was just making a
I
joke.
mean, I'm just saying across the street.
Yes, put your mic down.
Take it easy.
God damn it. You're the one who has to edit this. So.
No, but he just thought of Shang-Chi because we were talking about because Marvel Phase 4 was last week.
Exactly.
And Shang Tsung. But no, Shang Tsung is the first character to come out, which looks super cool because they added basically all of the ninjas that aren't originally in the game are like part of Shang Tsung's fighting set.
Mm-hmm.
But then Nightwolf, they showed the trailer for him. So, they show one fatality, they show his super, they show his bear and his like wolf and all that. He looks really cool. So I'm excited for that. I will probably pick that up, but I haven't picked up the Combat Pass, so... what I'm actually kind of waiting for, I know it would be a while, but with Mortal Kombat 10, they came up with Mortal Kombat XL, which was $20 and just had all the characters in it. So I could just wait until they do that because they're probably going to do that again.
Filthy fuck.
More like poor, but filthy is also a similar term. So that's
most poor people are filthy.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Saying a lot of stuff.
We got
I'm gonna have to edit this one, boy.
I'm just
demonetized.
kidding, guys.
Jesus.
It's okay. You're not saying anything wrong. It's all right.
Oh wow.
You're
That's what I'm
good.
saying.
Is that why
I mean, I didn't say I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, you did. That's what I thought.
I didn't say anything wrong either. It's all jokes.
It's all jokes.
We support all people here.
I mean, we don't support poor people. I got a Patreon.
Let's keep this
We
up.
don't support poor people. We got paid.
Moment of silence for whatever you guys are saying.
Okay. We gotta take a timeout.
Dig a timeout.
Take it.
That's
What's the
all.
next?
Yeah.
What's the next news story before I get fucking kicked? Before I get canceled?
We're just messing around. Nobody said anything wrong anyway. But yesterday also was the 30th anniversary of the original Game Boy. So Nintendo's Game Boy released in North America on July 31st, 1989. I never had a Game Boy.
I had a Game Boy. I loved my Game Boy. I had Pokemon Red. That was the only game I had for the Game Boy, and it was amazing. In 1997, when I was a child, and I was born. I was born with a Game Boy in my hand, actually.
You came out with one in your hand?
I had a purple clear one in my hand. Took like 700 AA batteries. And
AA, yeah.
I fucking loved the shit out of that thing. Played the shit out of Pokemon Red.
What happened?
I did not
break
catch
it?
them. I did not catch them all. What?
Did you break it or did I break it?
No, I didn't break it.
Somebody broke it?
No.
Oh, I'm asking what happened to it.
No, I didn't break it. Going back to the poor factor, before you were born, we were poor, and I had to trade in everything whenever I wanted to get a new thing.
Oh, so what did you trade it in for?
I think I made trade in for a game.
Food?
I had to trade it in for my family's dinner.
No, I probably traded in for like Game Boy Advance or PlayStation 2.
God damn. So
Oh,
you
that's
traded in
some-
that purple shit. That shit would have been so cool to have now.
It would have been. I wish I had it now. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
That's why I was like, there's
I
no
want
way
one.
you,
I've never seen one. or
there's
played
no way
one.
you broke
I don't
it.
even know how they actually look.
Because they're known for their Nokia
Oh, yeah, you
like
couldn't break it.
indestructibility.
I mean, if you try to break it,
There's actually a
gonna hurt
Game Boy
yourself.
in the Ripley's Believe It or Not that survived a Gulf War bombing.
No way.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I don't believe.
Was that yours?
that wasn't mine.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God! Holy crap!
No, it wasn't mine.
I'm just
I mean-
fucking around, God.
We'll link all of these articles below, by the way, so you can find, you can read the source info exactly where you need it.
Source info. The Game Boy came out 30 years ago. What the fuck else you do?
Well,
to
I'm
that?
talking about like that
It
it's in
has
Ripley's
buttons,
Believe
it
It or
has
Not.
a
I didn't just wake
Oh.
up this morning. I was like, oh yeah, I remember the Gulf War. Okay, so I'm saying we'll link the article down below.
Wait, was this in the same article? Did they
Yeah.
told you that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you just knew that because we have a Ripley's Believe It or Not here in Orlando.
We do, but I didn't actually know that. I don't know if it's that one. It's just a Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait,
I
That's why I thought-
appreciate you thinking I know things.
No,
though.
yeah, I thought you just knew things, but you're a dumb fuck.
I mean, that's more accurate. But how many stories did you write today?
Oh shit!
I told you about 2 stories, okay?
We'll talk about your other story, and then your first story was Kill Mark and Justin.
That's it's Kill Mark then Justin.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's not and,
Proper
it's that.
syntax.
Yeah, proper syntax. Also in order, I kill you first. After he sees me kill you, then I go over and then I kill him.
All right. So for the cops who got that recorded on there,
Alright, so that's
Easy
good. We got it all
breezy.
on record here.
put him in the handcuffs. All
It's
right,
gonna
there
be
it
a night.
is.
He's gonna watch me like mutilate your body, and then after that, he's gonna be shock and fear, and then I'm just gonna go right.
They've
behind.
already got 3 of his social security numbers, so we're setting up for a nice, easy breezy
That's
lockdown.
what I'm
Jesus
saying.
Christ! Didn't I give out the first 3?
They already know where. They already know where you live. They already know everything.
I mean,
Orlando,
Orlando, say
there's-
addresses and stuff. Let's
There's
all
like 3
keep it
million
easy.
people that live here in Orlando. Fucking find me, bitch. Come for me.
What are you gonna use? A white phosphorus?
Oh shit!
Yeah, this is definitely gonna get us canceled.
We're fine. So,
Don't be a cyberpunk.
keep an open mind.
Keep an open mind.
This is a podcast where we just talk about games.
If you laugh,
And we make
you
little
agree.
jokes here and there.
If you laugh, you
If
agree.
you laugh, you agree.
But let's talk about something that also happened was I'll let Joel go ahead and introduce this, but a podcast that he listens to and a content creator that I'm a fan of was banned out of PAX.
Okay, so they weren't banned from PAX. So what we're talking about is if you follow, if you not, maybe if you don't follow video games, it's a pretty relatively big story. But Colin Moriarty, ex IGN employee, ex kind of funny employee, now started his own business, Colin's Last Stand, and he has a PlayStation podcast called Sacred Symbols with this guy called Chris Raygun, who I also enjoy a lot. I haven't listened to any of his
Which
personal
is also an amazing name for somebody who does stuff about games.
Isn't it awesome? I don't think his stuff's not only focused on
Wait, sorry,
games.
what was the name?
Chris Raygun.
Oh, I like that. Chris
I like him
Raygun.
too because he's also a Puerto Rican kid from New York. So I feel
Oh,
like
really?
I feel like I can relate to him as a Puerto Rican kid from New
He was
Jersey.
born there and raised.
I think he was born there. I don't know if he was raised there. I feel like he was though, because he has the
Yeah,
northeastern
well,
sensibilities.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Colin and Chris, they have a podcast called Sacred Symbols, a PlayStation podcast, and it they asked to have a panel at PAX, and they were verified, and they told PAX told them that yes, you have this panel, promote it, and all this stuff like that. And then I believe 2 days ago at this point, 2 days ago, Colin received an email saying that their panel was canceled for like not really giving him a reason or anything like that. They just told him that it was canceled, and it was kind of upsetting.
They gave it to someone else.
No,
No.
so verbatim of what the email said that he actually got, it says, this is the first email given to Colin by PAX. They said, apologies, but we unfortunately have to remove your panel from the PAX West 2019 schedule. We apologize for any confusion, and we are happy to still issue special guest badges to you and the folks you had designated as speakers, so you will still have access to the show on all 4 days. But they didn't give him a reason for why it was banned. Also, they approved it weeks before the actual event.
And told him to promote it, too.
Yeah. They told Colin to promote it so that him and his fans, his audience, could get ready and get passes and all that kind of stuff. That was the first email that PAX sent him.
And then they recently sent them one today, right?
And yeah, so Colin has been putting this stuff on Twitter to keep his audience in the loop, but he's also been emailing PAX specifically. So the first email that he actually sent them verbatim, and we'll link this article down below. It's really good too if you want to give it a full read. The first one that he sends them just says, "Hey, can I be given a reason? I already bought plane tickets, got a hotel, and rallied my audience to go. People acquired passes to see us. Please let me know as soon as you can, since this seems awfully weird. We get one of the biggest theaters and then we're suddenly removed. I'd like more info. Thanks, Colin." So that's the first email that he sent them. Note, he never got a response to it, and they still haven't given him a reason. There are multiple Twitter posts that he posts that you can read, basically kind of just escalate in frustration.
Yeah.
Not that he ever sounds frustrated in a negative way, but just naturally, you're building up something, you have an audience, you pay for it.
You have a panel, you have people going, you told everyone that you're going to be going.
And I'll talk more about that frustration. You keep on going with the email.
And not only is he the one that bought plane tickets, but people probably bought plane tickets to go there too.
Yeah.
They probably have hotel rooms reserved, and they're probably people want to see these people.
His biggest problem isn't really from himself. His biggest problem is, hey, you told us we can promote it, and we can we can tell our audience. What do we do with them? So his second email that he sent to them says, "Hey, I don't mean to be annoying, but as this is a rather urgent matter for me and my audience, I would like to know what's happening, why, and what steps we can take to figure this out. Can someone please answer? I'm primarily interested in," and then he leaves a numbered list. Number 1, why the panel was canceled after being approved, after we were given a slot, and after we were explicitly told to tell our audience, which we've been doing for weeks, and after we were given access to PAX's panel backend to refine our panel name, description, etc. Number 2, how can people who got passes to see us get refunds? If they're interested in doing so, what are we supposed to tell them? Number 3, who can I talk to about getting reimbursed for lost travel expenses due to the cancellation, since we booked after being told by your organization that we had an actual slot and are now out of capital because of your decision? I'm writing a letter to our audience and letting them know about the sudden cancellation so that they're made aware, in parentheses, as we've been talking about it on our show for weeks, and your guys' input is greatly needed, and I'd even say required, to make sure an accurate picture is painted. Please get back to me as soon as you can. Thank you, Colin. So again, this is not that long after the first email is sent. He clearly goes into greater detail. There's still no response. So he sends a third email, which I will read. But the point is just that they're just not responding to him at all. They try to give him that kind of sweet, oh, well, we can still give you special guest passes and that. But that offers no refund. That offers nothing for the customers or him or anyone that has to pay to go there. It's just kind of like a, here you go. This is what we're going to say, and that's all we're going to say. We're not going to respond to you. Okay. And Colin ends up coming to the kind of conclusion that because of his controversial exits from his last position, not necessarily IGN, but from his last position, that, okay, maybe he's not wanted there, or maybe because of that, they don't want him there.
So, I can go more into detail, that being fans of Kind of Funny and Colin and IGN, and both Greg and Colin. Yeah. Greg Miller has nothing to do with this, by the way. I just mentioned them because they were both synonymous with each other throughout this whole tenure until they're split. But, Colin left Kind of Funny 2 years ago, I believe. Around 2 years ago. 3 years ago? I don't know. It's been so long, and honestly, it's weird. He left Kind of Funny after he tweeted out a joke on a day without, Twitter had those hashtag days, and it was hashtag a day without a woman. He tweeted out, peace and quiet, hashtag a day without a woman. It was just it was just
that's a funny little joke.
It's just a stupid.
That's just a funny little joke, though.
Okay, I know. Calm down. It's a stupid little joke. I mean, I didn't personally take any offense with it, and Colin just got ripped to shreds about it. And if you know anything about Colin Moriarty, he has I guess you could say he is conservative. He openly says that he's conservative as a member of the Republican Party, but
his Twitter handle is no taxation.
His Twitter handle is no taxation, and he does have the American Revolutionary snake on there. But that doesn't mean he's a fucking Nazi. He's a normal human being. He's just has slightly conservative views. And he's honestly more liberal than people give him credit for. I mean, he's only really conservative when it comes to money. So he kind of has more of a libertarian slant where he's he's for He's like, he doesn't hate like gay people or transgender people or puts down anybody because they're a woman or anything like that. He's like an equal opportunist guy. He's just conservative. He just doesn't want to like pay a shit ton of taxes. I know that's like boiling it down to a small point, but
I mean,
he's mostly
he's
fiscally conservative.
I mean, even when this tweet, it was a tweet.
Yeah, it was a tweet.
Even that was said, I remember you told me at least that like he made this joke with his girlfriend, like in bed next to him.
Yeah,
like
he
it's
said
not
that. He showed it to her. The story goes that he was laying in bed next to her, and I think he showed it to her, and they were laughed at it. And he's like, he posted it, and it was innocent. And he didn't realize apparently it was such a big deal until he showed up to the Kind of Funny office, and then like I guess they all reacted to it. And then regardless of how you feel about it, Kind of Funny really didn't like publicly like defend Colin for it or anything like that. There was like they posted out like a statement, like not like it was just kind of like a iffy statement. It wasn't really totally backing Colin. It wasn't totally against Colin. And then so he eventually leaves the company. And they have this show called the Game of Greggy Show, and they had Colin's last Game of Greggy Show where they, after the whole tweet and everything, after Colin announced he was leaving, they still did a show together, and they kind of explained the fact that it was more like obviously this joke was like the tipping point, but apparently it seems like they were having like differences between all four of them behind the scenes, or all four of them, because Kevin was still there too. I don't think they had Joey Noel yet. So it was only 4 other people. So they were having like, difficulties between the 5 of them, and they were having creative differences, and Colin wanted to do different things and stuff like that. So he eventually leaves. But then games media is very liberal, very left-leaning. So the whole gaming media like ripped him to shreds. Because he has he's conservative, he's Republican. But this is a guy who says he's conservative Republican. Left the Republican Party because the Republicans nominated Donald Trump to be their president. He did that before I believed any of this like controversy happened too, because this happened only 2-3 years ago. So President Trump was already in office, but he left the Republican Party for President Trump specifically because he didn't believe with his views and the way that he like approached things. So like to say like this guy is like it's really frustrating that people like paint him with a broad brush, saying that he's like a Nazi and all this stuff like that. Like he's just a dude that has slightly conservative views. He's not even like super hardcore like Republican.
I mean, and without going into it, that's just keep an open mind is the kind of thing. Like even with the Call of Duty white phosphorus thing, obviously it's not a similar thing, but it's just
it's a similar thing in the fact that like the gaming's media is so left leaning.
Yeah.
That they don't like to have any other opinions. It has to be like you have to completely agree with us or you're out of here. And it's kind of annoying because, I mean, in a way, that's discrimination itself.
That's true.
Because you're discriminating a person for a different idea.
You're trying to force somebody to have your opinions.
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, I feel bad because I'm a huge fan of Colin. Also, still a huge fan of Kind of Funny. I listen to both of their podcasts. Yeah. So it's not like I pick sides. It is very awkward for me because it's like mom and dad, like your parents like got a divorce, like metaphorically. They're not like my parents really, but Greg and I mean, how long have I been listening to Greg and Colin at Beyond? Like I was in fucking high school.
Even on IG,
I'm talking to you because you can back this up. Like I've been listening to them for years.
I don't follow their podcast, but I paid attention to all their stuff that they did at IGN. I like both of them. I never had a problem with Colin, even though I knew all this stuff. I knew like, oh, no taxation, Republican, whatever. I still thought he was great. Never really took an opinion to it. And more so also, I know it was a lot. But what I'm saying is that I always looked at his opinions just from a strictly gaming perspective. And if he's making a joke, I probably know it's a joke.
Yeah.
But then again, I know that's hard to say because that's just so much of a topic on its own of who decides what's a joke, what's not a joke, what's right, what's wrong. But that's kind of like with comedians. And yes, his job isn't primarily a comedian, but if you're podcasting,
you're trying to be entertaining, you're trying to be funny, you're going to make jokes.
If you're viewing anything that has a comedic twist to it, there's always a chance that they're going to say something that you don't agree with. But if they're saying something to be funny, if they say it afterwards and they're like, oh, like in an apology, they're saying it was just a joke, yeah, maybe it's wrong and maybe, okay, they're just saying it because it's after the fact and they got in trouble. But if what they've been doing has always had a comedic twist, I mean, the definition of comedy is tragedy. Like, somebody's probably going to laugh because it's something that you said was kind of incorrect. I'm not saying that's what you should do, but that's what comedy is.
Yeah.
And keep an open mind, and everyone's just having a good time, and these are literally just words. They're not anything to hurt anyone, and they're not even targeted at anyone.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to fully back him. I'm just saying, keeping an open mind, I understand, like, he just said a joke. I don't view him poorly for it. But regardless, even if, let's go straight back to PAX, even if PAX didn't want him there, they shouldn't have approved his thing weeks ago and then just pulled the plug.
This is all just like conjecture. They're like big words.
No official statements of anything. Really
PAX hasn't said anything like official. They did email him today though, I believe, and I saw like thing on Twitter where it said like they'll reimburse his like plane tickets and shit like that. Him and Chris's plane tickets.
Yeah, but nothing to the audience.
But his biggest issue is that his audience is not getting a refund. And he released I think he released it to the public, but I'm a Patreon supporter of Colin's thing. So I get these exclusive Patreon episodes. And one of the exclusive Patreon episodes this week was actually he recorded a 30-minute thing yesterday, and talked about the whole situation. And he was mentioning the fact that he's really just upset, obviously, about the personal attack that it seems to be about him, that like Games Media has against him and stuff like that. But he's really upset about the fact that his audience is always being disrespected and stuff like that too.
Yeah, true.
And that like this is kind of like a huge disrespect to his audience because, I mean, regardless of what you want to say about Colin or sacred symbols or anything like that, he has a big audience, and his PlayStation podcast is probably one of the biggest like PlayStation podcasts. Even though maybe you might not think about it in that sense, it has like, I think he says like 40 to 50,000 listeners a month. That's pretty big. So
yeah,
that probably going to be bigger than most of the things at PAX that have panels.
Yeah.
So it's kind of.
And even with what you're saying, even if they finally responded to him, it still doesn't sound like they've really given him a reason.
No, they didn't give him a reason at all. They just said that we'll reimburse you and Chris for your plane tickets and stuff.
To give specific numbers for what you're saying, in his last email to them, he said, "Hello, I'm reaching out for a third time to inquire why Sacred Symbols, a PlayStation podcast, promised PAX West panel was canceled at the last minute. Chris and I aren't interested in being where we're not wanted. We're not asking you to reconsider. Instead, what we are seeking out at this point is what we're supposed to do and tell our audience about the canceled panel. Why did you cancel it? How can they get a refund? And how can Colin's Last Stand be reimbursed for the expenses related to the panel, our acceptance as a panel, and your explicit request for acceptees to tell their audience," which we did multiple times on a show with 50,000 plus listeners. "We don't think we're owed a panel. We simply think we're owed professionalism. We submitted our..." Your boy hit the thing and went to Twitter.
Jesus Christ.
"We submitted our panel. You accepted it, and then for weeks allowed us to promote it. Then at the last second, you took our panel away. That you've ignored my inquiries so far... The fact that you've ignored my inquiries so far shows a staggering disregard for not only us, but much more importantly for our audience. And it's shameful. You hold Colin's Last Stand and those in its orbit in such disdain, it seems, that you can't even give your customers information on how they might get a refund, since you pulled a bait and switch on all of us. You can't even so much as lie to tell us you overlooked or made a clerical error. You just ignore us and your customers. I've been advised that under the legal standard of promissory estoppel, your organization is indeed responsible for offering an avenue for refunds for those you misled, and, as Chris and I were also misled parties, we will need the capital we invested into this panel back as well. But the most important thing right now is making sure that those affected in my audience are taken care of if they don't want to go anymore. Do you even care? Do you care at all about your customers, or are they just money trees that you shake? I guess we're about to find out. Yours, Colin. P.S. I've CC'd the only person I've actually spoken to directly at ReadPop in hopes that maybe he can also help." So that's the last of the emails that are explicitly from Colin to PAX, and we'll link that down below so you can read them if you want to. But yeah,
the last line made them actually have to think about that one.
Are your customers just trees that... like money that you have to shake out. Yeah. I mean, if you're a big corporate, I don't know how big of a corporation PAX is.
It's really unprofessional though.
Corporation is the wrong word, just a company.
I mean, they have to be big. They hold these huge ass panels.
Yeah,
that's true.
So they got to be big.
All these huge companies that go to them. So
the Penny Arcade Expo. That's what PAX stands for.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, Penny Arcade Expo. Yeah.
Oh.
But it's still crazy that they wouldn't give any response to that. So
it's kind of disappointing because even I jokingly mentioned, because Colin also mentioned, and this podcast I'm talking about, that's exclusive Patreon one, I think he said he's releasing it free for everybody to listen to. It's like just him 30 minutes talking to the audience about the whole situation, explaining his point of view, his feelings and stuff like that. But even like I said, even I jokingly mentioned to you, I was like, oh shit, Colin's gonna be out at a panel. Like, we should go to Seattle and like see it, like, because it's kind of a big deal for people who are fans of Colin already, because he doesn't really go out. He mentions this in the podcast, and if you like follow anything, he like it's kind of like anxious when it comes to these big shows and stuff like that. He doesn't really like going out and stuff like that. And then also it's kind of getting to the point where it's kind of like he fears for his own personal well-being, because I don't know if you saw like on his Twitter, some guy like he screenshotted and posted it. People are like tweeting at him like, oh, if you see him on the show floor at PAX, throw a milkshake at him, in reference to the Antifa.
I didn't see that.
In reference to the Antifa protest in Portland, or I don't know if it was Portland, but in Oregon, where they were throwing milkshakes at people. They were saying like, if you see Colin, throw a milkshake at him and shit like that.
What's Antifa? What is that?
That's a different, and we'll talk about that later off the podcast. That's a whole different can of worms.
Oh, okay.
But so there was
It's
like
not gaming related.
It's not gaming related at all.
Well,
but
milkshakes probably doesn't solve anything.
But so yeah, like people I don't know why people just genuinely hate this dude. I don't understand why, and it's kind of upsetting. And I mean, if you listen to the podcast, you can see it takes a toll on him. Also, there's like plenty of episodes where he references that it takes a toll on him, the fact that like, he gets just so much hate from an industry that he's put a lot of time and effort into. And I think like when you talk about gaming like journalists and stuff like that, Colin Moretti is like one of the top ones I think of.
I agree. Yeah.
It's like him, Jason Schreier, Greg. Other people. There's other big people.
Not to disrespect the other people, it's just these are the people that we know and we appreciate their work, specifically because we've seen it.
Especially as reviewers too.
Yeah.
Him and Greg. Like I remember every time you see a Colin interview, you're like, oh, if it's a 7, we're like, oh, so we know it's like actually like an 8.5 because he's just like a strickler. Like he like
and when his IGN review of Last of Us came out and it was a 10 out of 10, we were like, oh shit.
Yeah, we saw literally it was a 10 out of 10, and we're like, we're gonna buy this game just based off his review. I brought Nino Cooney based off his review, giving it like a 9 something.
Does he still work with Greg?
No, they had a falling out.
They don't work together
because he left Kind of Funny.
Yeah.
So when he left they left IGN, and then they worked on Kind of Funny together, and then since then Colin has had a falling out.
It also wasn't just Greg and Colin. There's also like
there's
Nick.
other people. Yeah,
there's
Tim
Nick
Geddes.
and Tim and all that stuff. There's a
So
whole
he
group.
does it all by himself now.
He does.
And with Chris Raygun.
Yeah, Chris Raygun does the Sacred Symbols podcast. He also does another really good podcast. This is just a fucking plug for him. This other podcast called Not Back with his older brother Dagan, which is also really fun. They just talk about like retro things.
Oh, was that the one I was listening to that one time where they were just talking about
when they were just
things?
Yeah. That's
I kind of like that one.
I really like that podcast too. And then he has his own like fireside chats, kind of like Joe Rogan style podcast where he interviews like random people. And so that's it. And then I think he's like hiring people now this year. He said he's going to hire like his first time full employee.
That's good. That means it's growing.
Yeah, I mean, he's personally doing well financially, but I think like it's taking a toll emotionally on him. The fact that like the gaming media hates him, and like his audience, I would probably say his audience is kind of like me, people who are like in a silent majority where we're just like we just listen to shit and not like are active on Twitter, like always like saying like rising him up and stuff like that. It's mostly people like on the other end that are just like kind of shitting on him. Yeah. So
it's the people who are shouting, but that's a minority.
Exactly. And that's very, it's just upsetting because it's just like after you listen to these people for years, and it's kind of like when people say negative things about him, it's like you really don't know them. Like I feel like obviously I never met him, but I feel like I've known him. I've listened to him talk for like over 10 years of my life. I think I would know if he's a good or bad person. I know he's not like a shitty person.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of these stuff, but hopefully just they eventually give him a reason. I'm glad that they're finally giving him a refund, and hopefully the people that brought tickets to see him. I mean, I probably would have been one of those people too. I was thinking about it. I was like, oh shit, I might be able to see Colin finally. So yeah, I mean, I was almost one of these people fucked out of like I don't know how much PAX tickets are. But hopefully they fix it.
Amount of money.
Regardless, hopefully they fix it, because even if it's not that expensive for a traditional ticket, you got to consider if somebody's traveling a far way.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of expenses.
You got to consider like the plane.
We're coming from Florida to Seattle. That's like easily like a $400 or $500.
And if he has an audience of 50,000 plus listeners, it could have been like 400 or 600 people going, which would add up a lot in how much money they spend and how much revenue that they're getting. And from what it sounds like, still having, even if they've offered refunds to Colin and Chris, It doesn't sound like they've offered anything to the
Oh no,
customer.
they haven't offered anything to the
So
audience.
they're just
And
pocketing
also,
all
that
of
following
that.
doesn't even matter because maybe some of those people want to take their friends, like how Joel. I don't know if you
Yeah.
listened to them, but Joel asked you if you wanted to go.
Mm.
So that could have been a lot of that too, like where they bring
Yeah,
extra people.
I mean, for sure, yeah.
so it
Could
could have
have
actually been more.
So
we should just go there and just wear the Sacred Symbols T-shirts that he sells.
get milkshakes.
And
thrown
throw
on you.
milkshakes at people.
Dude, honestly, like it's getting to the point where like if I go to one of these conventions, I'd be scared wearing one of his things. And that's crazy to say.
That is
I'm not
crazy to
even
say.
being. I'm not even. I know you made that face. I'm not even being
Well,
funny.
I'm making that face, but I'm also not as big of a fan of his as you are. Not that I don't like him, just that I don't listen to him.
People
so
really hate him that
People
much. Just
really-
'cause that
that's
one
what I'm
little
saying.
joke?
That's the thing that I'm
people
like,
really
really?
do
It's that
hate
bad?
him. Yeah, people
Just 'cause
really
that
don't
one
like
joke?
him. They fucking say he's like a Nazi and shit
But
like
just
that.
because of that one joke, that quote, just because of that one joke, it could probably be said for so many people's careers that have gone down the toilet in the past like decade.
Exactly.
But it's just a joke.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's tough.
I know people doesn't see it as like, oh, I do, but it's just a joke.
I mean, yeah, people don't see it as you do.
I mean,
That's what's tough.
now if he tweeted it like multiple times and keeps saying the same thing, then
It's still bad. You still shouldn't say stuff like that at the end of the day.
I guess.
It's tough. You shouldn't. If you're putting something on social media as an open platform that anyone can see it, you got to understand anyone can see it. It doesn't matter if
Yeah.
they're your fan or they're not your fan, which is, I think, a really important thing.
Yeah.
I don't
If
think.
you
I don't
want-
think it was that big of a deal. That
I
joke.
don't think it was that big of a deal either, but what the only thing I'm trying to say is, like, if you're a comedian, and I'm not going to name any, but if you're a comedian, and if you're having your own tour shows and you say something that somebody would think is fucked up, but it's in your show, they paid to see you, so you know the audience that's coming to see you, and you know that they're probably going to be okay with it because they're your audience.
Yeah.
You don't say that kind of, you don't say
But the people
same-
that would see his thing are following him and would know.
but not on Twitter, I'm saying his thing that he said
No, I'm saying on Twitter, literally, you follow somebody to
But
read their
anyone
tweets.
can see that. They don't have to be following him because didn't he hashtag the No Women's Day or whatever?
Oh yeah.
That means that anyone who is following or looking
I think
at
that's where he
that.
messed up. He made it a hashtag. He should have put hashtag and then space. And then
That's
typed
where
it
he
out.
specifically messed up. But in general, you shouldn't say stuff like that if you know it's going to be on the internet, like in an open source. That's what I'm saying. So like comedy clubs or whatever, when people have their tour shows, you have to pay for that. You have no phones, can't record. That's different. That's like you can't. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
even what I'm saying with that he said is fucked up, because it's not. I'm just saying, if you're gonna make stuff like that happen, you got to know who can hear it, who's listening. I'm not even saying that he means it or that kind of thing. I'm just saying not everyone's got an open mind, so you have to be careful.
Yeah. Sadly.
But
Yeah.
that seems to be the trend of a lot of this episode.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this still saw a lot of good news, though. There's still a lot of good stuff to be talked about.
Yeah.
Again, if you're... That was scary. If you are new here and you're listening on YouTube, you can subscribe and you can like the video. That helps us out. You can also hop over to our Patreon if you would like. You can support us on our Patreon. You can become part of our early risers tier, and we'll give you a shout out at the end of every weekly episode, which I'll do right now. So thank you so much to Lacey Perez, George, and Matt Acevedo for being our Patreon supporters. Really appreciate it, and always helps us make the show better every single week. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can follow and you'll be notified when episodes come out. Usually premiere every Friday. And meet us in the comments down below on YouTube and let us know how you feel about this. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.